Well, this is first on WTOC Plus. As we enter the fall, it is prime time for harvesting Georgia's top crop, peanuts. That includes in Effingham and Scriven counties, where the Boyd family has been farming for generations. Now, I caught up with Ben Boyd to see how this year's crop is shaping up. Here's an extended look at our conversation. Ben, first off, just tell me a little bit about Boyd Farms and what y'all do.
Well, so my family's farmed in this neck of the woods for a long, long time. So right now I farm with my daddy and my brother, and I've got 3 grown nephews, and so it's a family affair for us.
And, we're officially now into fall. How are things looking out on the farm?
So we're just wrapping up corn harvest, and we're glad to get that behind us, and we're just getting started good in peanuts, and that's a big ordeal for us. So we'll spend the next 6 weeks wide open trying to get this peanut crop out of the field and into a Snicker bar near you.
And what's kind of that process like, taking peanuts from their ground and getting them ready?
So obviously peanuts grow under the ground, and so if you ride by a field right now, it's usually green on top and looks kind of like grass. And so what we'll do is turn the peanuts over. So we'll dig them and invert them, and then we'll let the sunshine and the air dry them out. So we'll let them dry 3 or 4 days, maybe a week. We'll come back in there with the harvesters we call pickers, and we'll pick the peanuts off of the dry vines. Once we put them onto the dry vines, they're usually not quite dry yet, and so we'll send them to a buying point in town, and they'll finish drying them. They'll grade them and decide how good they are. We try to grow good ones, and so they'll go into a big warehouse, and after a while the warehouse will get an order from somebody who makes something out of them, and hopefully soon they'll turn into a candy bar or your favorite peanut treat like my little girl named Katie eats, and if I let her eat them, I promise you they're good.
And what makes a good peanut? How do you know it's ready to be picked?
So maturity is a big thing, so it needs to be as mature as you can let it get. But the balance there is that if it gets too mature, it'll start, so it's a seed. We eat the part of the seed, it'll sprout and try to come up and make a new peanut, and that's how God made it. So it tries to reproduce all the time. So you need to get it as mature as possible, and you don't want it to fall off. So we want them as mature and ready and tasty as we can get them, and then we pick them on that day. And it's kind of like a bell curve. So you got some that get ready early, some that get ready a little bit later, and you need to find the optimum time to dig them to get as many good ones as you can. You'll never get them all, but we try to get as much as we can.
And is there like a certain kind of color you look for? I know we were talking about that earlier.
So there's a method that a good friend of mine in Scriven County invented, and we call it the hull scrape method. And so you scrape the hull of the peanuts, and the color of the skin under the hull tells you how ripe it is. And so there's a chart, and we determine pretty much by the color of the hull. We grow a lot of other crops. We grow corn, we grow soybeans, typical Midwestern crops, and it's like a science. But growing peanuts is like an art. So sometimes you just got to feel it. We rely on a bunch of people on our farm, and so probably our 4 biggest consultants, and they're not consultants, they're regular old farmers. My daddy's 80 years old, Mr. Ricky's 81, Mr. Ashley's 82, Mr. Riles 84. So between those 4 people, we probably got 275 years of experience growing peanuts. And I don't care how many you grow, every year is different, and they've had a lot of years to watch. And so sometimes you just got to feel it. And we rely on those guys that got a lot more experience than we do. I've only been doing this for 35 years, and we have to rely on somebody who's seen a lot more than me.
A lot of experience growing peanuts. I assume a lot of experience eating peanuts too, because you got to know what makes a tasty peanut.
Absolutely, man. I eat peanuts every day. Look at me. That might not be a very good sales point. But anyway, no, man, hey, everybody needs to eat peanuts because it's absolutely the best thing. They're nutritious, they're good for you, and they taste good, man. You can't go wrong. So what we do is convert sunshine and water into peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
And talking about sunshine and water, weather conditions, we've been dry for a while, we're getting rain. Does that impact the picking process?
We can pick with a little bit of moisture in the air now. In the past, we could not. But with that being said, a little bit is a tiny little bit. So when it clouds up, we'll have to slow down picking. When it gets hot and dry and the humidity goes down, we can speed up. So what we really need is, you've heard about a harvest moon. That's what we need. We need long days and clear nights with no clouds and no humidity, and we need it to be dry.
Ben, that's really all the questions I had for you. Thanks for showing me the farm and talking about the process. Is there anything else you'd like to add for the story?
So peanut production is really high in Georgia. So Georgia grows half of the peanuts grown in the country, over half of the peanuts grown in the country. So peanuts, you know, Georgia's a peanut state for sure. The other ag economy is really soft right now. Peanuts have been the last thing that were relatively profitable. And so we were looking for $500 on this crop, and we're going to end up at about $385, but there's a bunch of them planted. But one thing about that is because, you know, so there's a big increase in fertilizer prices, which is tough on what we grow. So our inputs go up a lot when fertilizer prices go up a lot. So peanuts are legumes, so they put nitrogen back into the soil. So that's one input that you don't have to put on peanuts. We don't have to add nitrogen, so it's a big help. And so other than they're rotationally sensitive, so we never grow peanuts behind peanuts. We keep them on a 3-year rotation because we believe that's the best for our soil, and we make more, well, we feel like that's part of being able to make good peanuts is keep a good rotation. But other than that, the next crop following peanuts will be better. And so being as they are a legume, they got a lot of vines, there's a lot of nutritional value in the hay. So we raise cattle as well, and our cows love peanut hay. They treat it like ice cream.